G'day, hi, and welcome. Okay, take two. Update on the road rage van. All right. Check out my hat. So I already talked about the Cavalier. What's going on with that? Already talked about the Blue Speeder project. What's going on with that? That's on. That one might never come to fruition, but it still might. Like, I mean, it's. When I was looking at it, it's just the idea that no rust. You guys have to understand how important no rust on a vehicle is to a Canadian. It's you buy a brand new vehicle, 2018. The first winter, within the first winter, you're going to have surface rust somewhere on that car that needs to be dealt with. Maybe not eaten through or like that, but it's kind of like it starts right from day one. And for the first maybe 5 years, you could just let it go. But after 5 years, 6 years, everything just goes out once. And it seems like that's the way it works. It's like everything's good, everything's good. It's like it's just surface rust, it's just surface rust. And then somewhere around the 7th or 8th year, it's like a hole pokes through one place. And as soon as it pokes one place, that's your canary in the coal mine. That's, at that point, bead blast all that stuff off, get it cleaned up, gravel guard it, whatever. If you gravel guard it right from day one, you're good. But it's like everything's good, then all of a sudden it all just evaporates in front of you. By the time the road rage van is 2002 to now. So you're looking at a 16-year-old vehicle with 180,000, 190,000 miles on it. It's pretty, yeah. I mean, what does it owe? You know, like it's like just bury the thing already. You know, let it rust in peace. You know, it's like it owes you nothing. Stop beating on it. I mean, I drove it pretty sensible. I don't lead foot. I try to nurse that thing, eco drive it the best I could. But here's the thing. So I assessed the Chevy Cavalier yesterday. But to assess it, what I was going to do is pull the Cavalier out. And so what I did is I popped the van was sitting in front of it. So I put the battery back into the van. I just set the lead, like the terminals. I just went like that. I didn't even tighten them down. Just put them on. Got in. Figured, we'll see if it'll do it. Fires right up. Makes its angry panther sound that it makes. The needles, the fuel's on empty. Pull it right out. It just sits there roaring. It runs, right? It runs. So every vehicle I've looked at that's $500, okay, is in the same condition as the road rage van or worse. They all need everything at that point. If I were to fix everything on that van, some of the rust is so far gone that there's nothing you can really do about it. If I fixed everything on that van, I'm looking at $4,000, right? So obviously that's not going to happen. You know, even if I had the $4,000, that's not going to happen. For $4,000, you can get yourself probably a pretty decent vehicle for $4,000. Now that van was $600 or $700 when my mom and my dad bought it for my mom, and it was, I don't even think it was winter driven. It was in good condition. I mean, there was a little bit of surface rust on there, but nothing. But by the time I got it after my mom passed away in 2014. The damage was already done, right? It had been sitting there. It was too far gone at that point, you know. Like it was like, okay, well, and then of course the last time I jacked it up, I moved the motor mount a bit. You know, it's like I was moving the motor mount, so it's like you can't even jack the thing up. So it's like if I do get it on the road, it needs a windshield. The three major things it needs that I can't live with, that I have to do before it can go back on the road, is brakes. I got to fix out whatever's going on with the brakes there because I don't know if it's just another bent rotor or warped rotor or if it's a wheel bearing going. It feels more like a wheel bearing is gone or something like that because something's loose because they just that's I don't know. It could be a tie rod. It could be anything, right? The front end on it is done. You know, like it's done. You know, I mean, there's a gazillion miles on it. It's done. It's probably all original equipment on there. The windshield is what's going to, like the last time a cop pulled out behind me, I was at the hall. She pulled out. She ran the plate. So just the fact that she ran the plate, she noticed the windshield, obviously, and the rust and everything. So this is a vehicle that's going to get pulled off the road on its first roadside inspection. There's no doubt about that. So my dad informed me that he saw it out in the yard. He's like, how long is that going to be there? Because he didn't know that it came out under its own power. I said, no. I said, it fired right up. I said, it still runs tickety-boo there. It's whatever. He goes, he says, are you going to put it on the road? He goes, you're going to have to make your decision by Friday, because I thought he'd already pulled the plates and everything off it, but apparently he had not. I just didn't drive it all winter because, the block heater's done in it. I got to fix the heating vents. There was no heat. It needs everything, right? But that said, if I spend the next couple of weeks just plugging away on it, the problem is I don't want my dad to waste. Well, I'm going to pay him, but this is kind of one of those gambles where if you pay, it might not pay off, and then I'm, going to be out probably about 100 and some $200, to insure it, put it on the road. I could hold off if I could hold off on the insurance, because the insurance could be about $140. I think it's going to be about 50 maybe for the renewal of the plate, and the or maybe 90. I don't know how much it's going to cost to renew the vehicle. I think it's about $90. I don't remember what it was for. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, whatever it is, if I spend that money and say, okay, well, it's not going to be driving for the next 2 months anyway, because it's going to cost me. I have to do the exhaust because of the noise it makes. The brakes and the front end, I have to do that. So I'm going to price it out. I'm looking at least $500 in the front end, like the right there. And it's one of those things that you can't just piece it together. For the exhaust, I mean, the header pipe is starting to go. It's just, if it was just about getting an exhaust on there, it'd be no problem. But just a muffler. But I'm pretty sure the header pipe. But I'm going to assess all that today anyway. And maybe it's done so much that But I'd hate to put a windshield on it. $400 or whatever it is to put the windshield in. The exhaust system, if I did from the header pipe, I'll probably omit the catalytic converter and just go straight pipe right to a muffler, just to quieten down. That's the thing. That's what draws the attention. The body rust, like on the edges and stuff like that, I can do with that. But like I say, the floor's gonna go. It's done. It's done. If I oil sprayed it, maybe I could get it. If I really, 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 really nursed it, I could probably get another 2 years out of that thing. And that might, but in 2 years, how much am I going to put $2,000 in that? What kind of vehicle can I get for $2,000? You know what I mean? Very tough call to make, because you're literally. I might as well just grab the little money I have and just light it on fire. That's what I have to decide, because I just cannot find another vehicle for $500. Because that's all I can afford is $500. I can't afford to do payments. I mean, if it was like $50 a month, a vehicle for like $50 a month, maybe. Okay, well, it's $50 a month. Okay, yeah, whatever. I'll live with it, and if I could find that. But like another beater that has the exhaust on, again, as soon as you get pulled over, it's going. What do you do, right? What do you do? So I got to make a decision on that in 3 days. I have 3 days to do it. It's the easiest one to make in the sense that it's running. I don't have to worry about a safety. I just got to throw money at it, and obviously time and effort. The leaky radiator, that can live. The leaky power steering, that can live. The no heater, the heater core for the block heater, that can live. The windshield wipers, that can live. For now. The rust around the wheel wells and stuff like that, I don't know what to do about that, because, I mean, if I cut away all the rust to put in new metal there, I'm cutting out chunks this freaking big in the side of the van. Like, I don't know if you could fix that. I don't know if you could resurrect it. And you could do it, but is it worth it? You know, like, how many thousands of dollars do I want to throw at this thing? And I know that I do all that, there's a good chance that the engine could just, I mean, it's at 180,000. There are no guarantees on this. The other way I look at it is any parts I put on it, I could salvage the parts and sell off the parts. But now you're looking for somebody with a Dodge Caravan that wants to buy parts for XYZ that you put into it. You know what I mean? Like, it's, what do I do? What do I do? Chances are I might resurrect the road rage van a little bit. I'll probably tell Dad, don't take the plate off of it. The insurance is renewing the insurance is no deal. No matter, you can do that at any time. But I'll hold off on the insurance. And I'll see what it's going to cost to, because maybe I can get lucky and if I could cannibalize a vehicle that has good brake calipers. Maybe I can find the stuff used, you know. But if I can find the stuff used and do it for the windshield I got to break down and buy new. The exhaust I'm going to buy new. But maybe I can get the pipe for free, you know, off of take it off another vehicle or whatever. I don't know. I'll do the assessment today, and because again, just getting it down the road for another, I need something more reliable than that. And I know the problem is when you do get like a good deal, like my brother, he got his car for $1,800. That thing was mint condition, sat in the garage most of its life, never winter driven, and it's a Toyota Corolla. I mean, the thing is, it's a tank. It's starting to get rusted out now. It's rough now because my brother had no money to put into it. But if I got that car, the first thing I would have done is the body spray. It'd be good for the next decade, you know what I mean? Or at least until I could save up for another vehicle. That's what I did with this van was, I'll save up for another vehicle, and when this one dies, I'll have the money. And I did, and then YouTube decided to, basically destroy everybody's income. When they did that, that's when I had $2,200 saved up for a vehicle. And in the $3,000 range, yeah, you can find all kinds of great stuff in the $3,000 range. But, yeah, and the thing is, I don't want to just buy another vehicle that's a money pit. Because, at this stage, it's going to just be a money pit. But if the engine's reliable-ish, it's something that, if I get it stranded somewhere, it's like you don't even bother calling, you just don't even bother calling the towing, just hitch a ride back, call the towing, call the impound, just say, come get it. You want a free vehicle? Here you go. That's the state it's at, right? I can't drive it to town because if I get pulled over, like I say, the van's off the road. And the way when we made the decision too is the last time that cop, she ran the plate, and the only reason why I think it didn't get pulled off the road then was because I was in the hall and she probably just didn't want to she's the community they call the godmother. There's like a godmother and a godfather with the police services. They call them, for each community you have like a godmother and a godfather, and they're the main connection police officer to that community, right? And I think just because if I would have been sitting in the van, I'm sure she would have probably issued the ticket or whatever, but she ran the plate and whatever, but she did come back, and I thought, oh, that's it, it's done. But you never know. Everybody around here is driving the same clunker, right? So if they pulled every clunker over, there'd be no vehicles on the road around here. So I don't know. Do I gamble it? Do I not? And it is exactly that. It is a gamble. It is a gamble. That's what it is. Yeah, so I'm going to do the inspection, see what I find, see what I can get away with, and I'm going to go from there. All right. Have yourselves a great day.